I've slept on it. I've thought about it. I've recorded, re-recorded. This is Tennessee versus Oklahoma the next day. And this is going to be a tough one to talk about today as well. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe. I appreciate all your support here. Frank Rock, House of Orange TV. To me, last night might have been the most maddening loss of the Heupel era on this. And I'll go ahead and say it up front. You give Oklahoma credit. They weathered the storm early. They dominated Tennessee on both lines to an extent last night. Definitely their defensive line dominated Tennessee's offensive line. And they made the plays to win. And their kicker was phenomenal last night. Credit to them on winning that football game. I'm looking at this from Tennessee's standpoint. First play of the game was an omen for the night. Aguilar pulled it back. I'm guessing he saw something he didn't like. I wish he would have saw a couple things he didn't like later on, too, on some throws. But ends up being a backward pass, fumble, whatever you want. It's basically the same thing. And but Tennessee got bailed out on third down on that one. Went on down. Braylon Staley scored 7-0. Tennessee's up. Defense gets a quick stop. They're off field. Tennessee's driving again. Hit a nice pass to Ethan Davis for like 40 yards. It looks like things are rolling. And then David Sanders Jr., him and Jesse Perry went for the same guy and left the end wide open. Come in, drilled Aguilar. Fumble. The Oklahoma dude picks it up. Miles Kitselman, good grief. That effort at that tackle on it was one for the ages, let me tell you, not in a good way either. That was pathetic. Oklahoma goes down, ties it. Tennessee gets the lead back. Max Gilbert, he did hit 2 or 3 field goals, but the one I'm going to talk about soon. But Tennessee just continued to not get out of its way at times. But, I mean, too, you got to give Oklahoma credit. And I'm going to discuss the lines and some stuff. I'm going to discuss the offense, defense, special teams, and coaching moves on this. If I give grades out, I go offense a D. The Aguilar 2 picks were awful. Neither one of them should have been thrown. And I know they said the safety baited him on the first one. I didn't think it was – I thought the safety was in the vicinity the whole time. But, again, I'm not seeing it from his view either. Maybe he saw Brazel breaking loose. If that's the case, he underthrew it pretty bad as well. The second interception was bad. No, he just threw that one up. And I know he was getting pressured on it, just trying to get rid of it. But that was tough because Oklahoma got another field goal. I mean, their kicker, again, he was phenomenal. And those were all long kicks that he hit last night, where our guy misses a 37-yarder. And Tennessee, once they got down, played catch-up the rest of the night because of that damn 37-yard missed field goal. That can't happen. That cannot happen. And I know Gilbert hit a couple more. But still yet, once Oklahoma got up, that miss, they were chasing it the rest of the night. I thought the defense played good enough to win this football game last night. They held Oklahoma to 99 yards in the first half. You can't ask much more from them than that. They got put in shorter situations numerous times. Obviously, 7 points to the fumble return. The 2 interceptions they did some things with. But, you know, the second half, Oklahoma got the run game going. Oklahoma was a more physical team than Tennessee last night. And, again, I'm going to discuss this here in just a minute when I get past all this. But I thought the defense played good enough to win the game. I thought Ty Redmond played a real good game. Farouk was good. Hood, I thought, did a good job. Edwin Spillman was everywhere. I still say he's the best linebacker on the team. I said it before the season. I would have him out as much as possible. The dude just makes plays, and he's everywhere. I thought some of the ends played good games. I thought Weathersby was very active, among other guys. I thought Thielander was pretty good when he was in. Turrentine is what he is. I mean, on the last one where Oklahoma ran it down to the 1 and then they ended up scoring, he took a bad angle on it, and then it was gone. He wasn't even close on it. Farouk is easily the best safety. He makes plays. He's not perfect, but he makes plays on it. I did thought McMurray had a rough night at the star position. It's really interesting. Boo Carter did not play a defensive snap last night. I think the writing's on the wall with that one. And then he's doing nothing as a punt returner either. I'll still say this. I don't think it's a coincidence that, and I've seen, some of the media covers that say it's not the case. The special teams were always good when Mike Eckler were there. I don't think it's a coincidence that they've fallen off this year. The kicking, I don't know necessarily that Mike Eckler was the kicking coach, but he was a special teams coach. The return game was always good. It's non-existent this year. The kicking game is inconsistent, but it's, I would go offensive D last night, defensive B. Again, I thought the defense played good enough to win the football game. Not perfect by any means. Don't get me wrong on that. But there were numerous times throughout I thought they did enough to win this football game. Special teams D. The 37-yarder was a miss, was a killer. And Josh Heupel's clock management, a big F on that. Needed to kick. We've seen this against Alabama too. What was it? 4th and long, down 17. He tries to go for it instead of kicking the field goal. He's not. I don't know if he's getting so wrapped up in the game that he forget the math doesn't math. Heupel, it's not mathing, dude. Last night you needed that field goal with it. When they got the touchdown, I get this to an extent that you kick the extra point and you're down 2. Here's the problem. Oklahoma went back down, scored that touchdown, pushed it back to 2 scores. You really needed, I guess they're banking on having to stop and getting the ball back. I don't know that if Oklahoma wouldn't have broke loose, Tennessee could have gotten the ball back, to be honest with you. But really, in a respect, you needed to go for 2 because once they got back up 9, if you'd gone for 2 and would have made it, you would have been down 8 and had a chance at the end with it. I thought the onside kicks, I thought the first one was really good, and the Oklahoma guy come up and made a play on it. The second one, not as good, but that first one was pretty good on it. Just the offense, just not enough plays. And again, a lot of this last night to me was due to the line of scrimmage. And Tennessee most definitely did not win the line of scrimmage last night on it. And the one other thing, the 4th and 1, retire that freaking pass play, please. And I don't know whose fault. I don't know that it was anybody's fault on it. The bottom line is I'm pretty sure it was your right tackle got pushed back. That hit Van Dorsalier. And then he just wasn't able to get turned around by the time the ball come to him. It hit him right in the face mask. That was a perfect end to the night, more or less, in that one. But that's twice they've run that play and passed it and no success with it. Run the freaking ball. Run the damn ball up the middle. You have a jumbo package. You have a defensive tackle in, for crying out loud. You've got Deshaun Bishop in, who's hard to bring down. Well, if you can't get a yard, you live with it. Get your yard, set back up, and get going. This cute stuff that they keep doing this year, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not. And that play didn't cost the game, but it was the nail in the coffin. Let's put it that way. That was the nail in the coffin last night. The defense did help get the ball back, but to me, the story of the night is this one was on the offense. And again, I get that the defense, Oklahoma ran it the second half on them, but they made enough plays to win this football game. And they tried to get them back into it at the end too, other than the last, that one touchdown run on it. The pitchforks were out, and deservedly so, last night. Here's where I'm at on it from a Heupel standpoint. I'm not out on him. I think he's got to make changes. He has to evolve. He's got to learn how to game manage a clock again. There's a lot. Because I like that this offensive staff in the offseason was not happy. And they went back to the drawing board. You brought in Seth Luttrell and Jim Chaney. That's a couple pretty good offensive minds that you bring in. They went out and got ideas. It's been one of the best offenses in college football. Last night, they moved the ball, but just didn't have the results in the end. Because if you look at it, they outgained Oklahoma 456 to 351. They held them to 159 passing. The only problem is Oklahoma ran for 192. Tennessee only ran for 63. That's, not really their thing normally. They're normally a better running football team. And a part of me, too, I don't know that you have that dynamic guy in the back. I have a Dylan Sampson, Jalen Wright. I think Star Thomas could be it more, but Bishop's been solid Peyton Lewis, I think Peyton Lewis has got potential too. But the run game is just not jiving. I don't think it's in coincidence either that things with the line when they started messing around with it. And they had to. I think Sanders is your most talented lineman of the bunch. He was going to be a starter if not for what happened to him early. I get you've got to implement him back in. But ever since they started messing with the line, it's not been cohesive. There's not been the continuity that they had at the first of the year, and they've not been as good. And, maybe that has to do with some of the teams. The schedule's obviously gotten tougher here. Most of the SEC's hunting for coaches this offseason. Who's the home run hire? I'm just going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to play both situations. To me, you got to be careful on this. Worst case, I think this team, worst case, wins 8 games. I don't think there's any reason you let Vanderbilt come in and beat you at the end. I don't care what their record is. I don't give a shit about any of that. You don't let Vanderbilt come into Knoxville to end the season and beat you. You just don't with it. Florida at the Swamp's going to be a test. Florida gave Georgia all they wanted yesterday. We know the house of horrors that is the Swamp for Tennessee. That's going to be a tough one for Tennessee. If you finish 8-4, you'll probably get one of the Florida Bowl games. You'll get a Big Ten team. We'll see how that goes. But what I'll look at is, man, if these bad seasons for Heupel, if they're 9-win seasons, we didn't sniff 9 wins hardly for almost 15 years. Butch got a couple and thought he'd won everything those years. My thing, I go back to the Butch Jones era. That loss at Oklahoma at home for him was a turner in his tenure. I'm hoping that's not the case with Heupel. But I will say this, and I saw Austin Price say this on VolQuest.com today. I don't know that if you're Heupel, I don't think you can go in year 6 with the status quo on this. I think you're going to have to see what gets me to the next level right now. Right now, this is obviously they're eliminated from the playoffs this year. But, it's a team good enough, I think, to be in the playoffs. But number one, you got to get some discipline in the team. And I don't mean behavior or nothing. I'm talking about on the field. They were better in terms of penalties last night, but just the missed assignments. And maybe it happens around the country more often than I'm aware of on it. But I don't know where you go, though. I still say Heupel's the play caller on this staff. I think Joey Halzle gets too much blame. And I don't know with it. I don't really have much of a problem with the offensive staff this year. I just don't. Could you upgrade some? Possibly. But, defensive-wise, it's hard for me. If anybody on the defensive side's earned their money this year, it's probably Coach Chop and Willie Martinez. And because Martinez has got dealt a tough hand. Kirk Herbstreit said it last night. Tennessee was due to have probably the leading returning duo at corner in the whole country coming in. And they're both out hurt. McCoy's not played. I don't even know why he would play now, to be honest with you. And then Gibson got hurt early in the Syracuse game. He's been out basically the whole year. But Tyler Redmond played good last night. And Colton Hood's been, other than I think the Alabama game, he's been really good this year. He didn't have a good game against Bama. He's had his moments, don't get me wrong. But he's an aggressive defensive back too. Safety play's been subpar. I think Farouk's getting better and better. Turrentine is what he is, though. You've got to be better at safety. Linebackers, I don't think they've matched the right personnel this year. Edwin Spillman's not played enough. He's the most dynamic linebacker that you have. And I get you probably got to get breaks and stuff. He can't play 84 snaps or whatever, but he needs to be playing more than he played a lot last night, and he needs to be out there the most. He is easily your most dynamic linebacker on the team. I don't think the inner defensive line's gotten it done this year. And I know they lost some good players too. I feel like at times the ends have been good, but something just in the whole grand scheme of it's not jiving this year. I think you've got to look at that defensive staff after this season. I don't know what the answer is on that, but you've got to somehow, if you're going to get to that next level, do you just want to be a 9 to 10 win coach, or do you want to get to that next level and have a legitimate shot to try to go win a championship? That's what Josh Heupel has to decide. I will tell you the one change I would make on this, and it's not special team, strength and conditioning. We've seen it every year. Tennessee cannot line up on the lines of scrimmage with Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama. They didn't with Ohio State. Florida has not, even though Tennessee's gotten Florida a couple times, they've had a hard time with Florida's lines. The strength of the lines, the speed in the secondary is not there. I would look at making a change on strength and conditioning. I think it's time you're going to have to get stronger and faster out here. That's great. They're lean and all this stuff. Doesn't mean squat when you're getting pushed around. It doesn't mean anything when you can't, you don't have the speed that's out there. There's a lack of speed on the defense in certain points. That to me is the number one change I make is strength and conditioning. And then you've got to look at this defense. I know they were better last year, the defense, but still yet in the games that mattered, it was nothing. And I think you really, really got to look hard at that. If Heupel wants to be at Tennessee long term, now it's to say somebody doesn't come plucking in off season. His name's been mentioned out there. There's most of the SEC, it feels like, is open. But if you're going to make that, who's the home run hire out there? To me, the best two who could possibly be had would be Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz. You can feel free to disagree with me on that all you want to, whether you like them or not. Put your feelings aside. Look at the job those two guys are doing at their programs. And Lane keeps getting better and better. And Drinkwitz, like him or not, he's a good football coach. He's done a good job at Missouri. And if you gave him a bigger job, it'd be interesting to see what he could do with it. Like him or not, he's a good football coach. And it would not surprise me at all to see him get one of these big jobs this offseason. But I just don't know who the home run is. I mean, outside of those two guys, if I'm Lane Kiffin, I don't leave Ole Miss. He's got a good situation going there. Drinkwitz, I think, could get a better situation than Missouri. But, it is what it is. So that's pretty much what I've got for now. I guess we'll go later on. Frustrating loss, but playoffs hopes are done for the year unless just everybody starts losing, which I don't see happening. But we'll wrap up on that one. Frank, House of Orange, and I'll see you. Want to see you.